It is early lines time, people. I'm catching AG. I'm hot on his tail. Wait, pause. But I am going to catch you. How did I do this week? And how close am I now?
You went 2-0. I went 0-2. I was
Oh,
about
I didn't even know
no
that.
wait
I didn't even know that.
I went 1
I know.
and
1
0
0
and
and
1.
1.
I should say, yeah.
No,
My
0
bad.
1 and
I
0 1 and 1. Yeah.
1 and 1. Yeah. 1 and 1.
Yeah.
My bad. So yeah, you caught up on some ground. I actually I forgot to put it in, so I'm pulling up the chart right now because I actually forgot to make a little
Okay.
tab for that. But here, while I'm doing that, get into your first pick real quick so we don't have everybody waiting.
That's
You've
right.
got the Jets plus 9.5 at the Bills, over under 43.5. And I gotta say, with the Jets being able to beat the Bills at home just a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
with the handicap that is Zach Wilson playing quarterback for them, the offense looks a little rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Wilson said he'll like run through a wall for that guy Mike White. The offense loves it. They look better. The defense is still amazing. Josh Allen's a little bit healthier. Are you surprised that this line is this high, 9.5?
I am.
I mean, I know it's in Buffalo. That gives you like 3
right.
points on average, whatever.
Yeah, but they just
they're
went
looking
into
at
Minnesota.
a touchdown spread.
They just went into Minnesota and they had Minnesota on the ropes. If Mike White throws that pass a little bit farther ahead and it's on target, that's a touchdown, and the Jets win in Minnesota against one of the best teams in the NFL right now. So, and I know, all jokes about Kirk Cousins and his inconsistency aside, that squad overall has been playing lights out. They're one of the best teams. Like in my computer model, they're like the fourth best team in the NFL right now in terms of their overall ability, who they've beaten, what the margins are and everything, and what their schedule is when you go deep into who's played who. They're actually a really good quality team, and the Jets are up there too, because the Jets, they went toe to toe with them and damn near pulled it off. So yeah, 9.5, and this is one of those, we talk about this all the time, one of those bitter division rivalries. These games tend to be crazy. They tend to be close. It's, at least to me, that number's high enough where it's worth taking a swing at it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If I had to play this one, I'm taking the Jets. There's no way I'm backing them on that much. I mean, that's high, man. I was so surprised to see that it's that high. I would expect it a touchdown. If it was a touchdown, I would say that's about right.
6.5 or something like that. Yeah, and to be honest, so not for this contest, because I think that the odds are too low that they actually pull off the victory. But you better believe I'm going to have a little bit on the money line for this one, and I'm probably going to have it as part of a money line parlay too. So yeah, this is one where I think the Jets could win this one outright, and 9.5 is just too easy to pass up, or too tough to pass up. I'm sorry, too big of a spread to pass up. So what's yours?
I'm about to put.
Or do you want to get into the standings?
Real quick, I got it coming up in 2 seconds.
All right.
But similar to your point about the Vikings and how they handling business, no matter what we can say about them, and I've been one of the main ones saying, they haven't beat anybody, blah blah blah, this and that. The big games they played, the Eagles, Cowboys, they lost. Obviously, they beat the Bills. I gave them their credit for that one. But again, letting the Jets hang around like that, there's no way the Jets should have hung around like that when they couldn't put up any points in the red zone. But yet, there they were. They scored one touchdown on that 4th down or something like that. And the Vikings are once again playing the cardiac arrest game where they got to go down the field and score with a minute left.
13 seconds or something, yeah.
But what I will say is, and you guys see the money line on the screen, that's usually a good hint that somebody's going money line. We got the Vikings plus 2.5. Traveling to Detroit, over under 53.5, and I'm getting the Vikings money line at plus 114. I mean, this is crazy. This has to be one of only 5 times this late in the season where a team that's 10-2 are dogs against the team that is
under 500 record,
a few games under 500. It's not like a win puts them right at 500 and they're in the chance for the division. This season is away from the Lions right now, and they are the favorites here. I feel like they're giving me a deal on the Vikings money line plus 114. Absolutely. I'm going to take that for this show because I think that could easily flip when the money starts coming in on the Vikings. So I'm going to get that right now. Even if they lose, I'm happy with my positioning, most likely, because I bet you by Sunday they're favorites, in my opinion. I think this is insane that they're not.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
No.
10-2. Yes, they lost their two, biggest games. I mean, you could say, but
Mhm.
they're undefeated in one-score games. Like they win the close games. And
Yeah.
what are the Lions known for? You
Playing
can't trust
everybody
them
close
to
no matter
win the
how good
game.
they are. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And they won't win,
They'll
right?
find a way to give it away. That's
Now
right.
this is seeming like a good Lions team. When have they played better?
Mhm.
When their offense is healthy. The offense is healthy right now. The defense,
Mhm.
we know we're not getting anything from that, but we're not getting anything from the Vikings defense either. The over 53.5 might be a good play as well. However, I'm probably going to tease that down, put it in a teaser
Mhm.
or some kind of parlay where I'm bringing that number just a little bit down, maybe 47.5, 46.5, 48.5 even. 53 just seems a little bit high, but I think it's a good play if you want to go that route.
Mhm.
But I'm taking the Vikings, and I'm not even necessarily taking the Vikings to win, but I'm taking the Lions to lose a close game again
Right.
in a big time spot at home.
I don't hate it.
And it's a 1 o'clock game
Mhm.
for what it's worth. We can trust Kirk Cousins a little bit there. So yeah, I'm going Vikings money line here.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. And I was going to go Baltimore to win against Pittsburgh because it's another one where like the better team I think is not favored, and I can't justifiably do that. Wait, are you doing it?
No.
Or are
I'm
you?
pulling it up for you.
Oh well, no, that was oh no, that's right. Yes. Okay, my bad. I got twisted around the axle there for a second. Yes. So what I am taking is the Steelers to cover this 2.5 because as much as I would like to see this overall Ravens squad rally around Tyler Huntley, I just don't see it happening. You saw how much they had to struggle just to win that game by one.
Again,
I mean, just an
a very
awful
good
mess.
Broncos defense. So
Yeah.
to their credit, I mean they pulled
Yes.
out the one, they snuck it out. But
Yeah.
I do agree with what you're saying though.
So good that I was tempted to actually take the Chiefs Broncos under as my pick for this second pick, but I backed
I
away
thought
from
about
that.
it.
Yeah, I backed
I
away from that,
considered
and
it.
I'm going with this one because I really believe that the Steelers they're on fire right now, and this game is the margin is tight. And I think that if both of these teams were 100%, you had a healthy Lamar Jackson, I still like the Steelers to possibly pull off the upset here. But in this case, they're favored because Lamar Jackson's most likely out. I think it's
Mhm.
almost guaranteed with
No,
a
he's
sprained
out. Yeah, it's
ACL.
going to be a couple
Yeah,
weeks. I think it should
couple of
be.
weeks. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers. I'm riding Kenny Pickett in his little bitty hands all the way. So here we go.
And here I'm gonna throw some trends at you real quick, just because I actually had these ready to go anyway, and it's funny you picked this game because these are interesting. And obviously, don't use these trends as your like full way to bet because there's a whole lot of Lamar Jackson involved in this, and just a whole. Obviously, if we're talking about a 28 game trend, there's a lot of different rosters that went into this. You have to play each game like it is, but I found these trends interesting here in this matchup between these two teams, the Ravens and Steelers. We know it's a big time rivalry. The underdog is 19-6-3 against the spread in their last 28 meetings. The road team is also 8-3 in the last 11 meetings, and the Ravens are 5-2-1 against the spread in their last 8 games in Pitt. So all of those point towards the Ravens. However, as of late, the Steelers have been getting the better one up on them. The Ravens are 2-5 in the last 7 meetings overall against the spread. In against the spread, not overall, straight up, but in their last 7 meetings, no matter where it is. So the Steelers have had the hot hand in this matchup in terms of covering at least, and the fact that Lamar Jackson is out. The offense was already looking shaky with Lamar Jackson in. Steelers have been coming alive. I completely agree with you in this spot. I've been saying it for a couple weeks. The Ravens are the Giants of the AFC. They are probably the worst 7-4 team in the AFC, or 8-4. Just like what I've been saying about the Giants. They won a couple of close games. I mean, it's crazy though saying that because they also are like 5-6 plays from being undefeated right now.
Right.
Like legitimate.
And that's
but
and
it has
that's
not
one.
been pretty. It has not been pretty.
Yeah, that's one where we'll have to get into this like as our preview for next year when we start the NFL season, because that's one of my pet peeves that I have with people. They'll look at a team that does that, and then they just assume that they're going to win all those close games the next year, and they forget about all the close games that they won that they should have lost.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, this team was this close to being like 4-7 at that point in the season instead of
also
7-4.
this close. But
To
this
be in
Ravens team's
being
also this
11-0,
close to being
12-0.
11-0. Yeah, it's
exactly,
crazy.
exactly.
A
But
couple
you gotta
mishaps and a
take
couple.
you gotta take the good with the bad, though. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
that Tua touchdown in the last minute a couple 2-point conversions, and they're 11-0. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
That Jaguars game is going to be giving Ravens fans and that
Yeah.
whole organization nightmares for
Yep.
a while. Yep. So, all right. So, what's your last pick?
My last pick here, I'm going with the Eagles. Speaking of the Giants and how they are the worst of the NFC side in terms of, like, you know, the good teams, I guess you could say good.
Right.
Eagles under a touchdown. I know it's in New York, well, in New Jersey at MetLife. The over-under set at 45.5. I think taking a stab at the 45.5 is smart too. You know, it might not even be a bad idea to parlay the Eagles to cover and the over, because we saw what the Eagles did to the Titans. Titans are a much better defense. And, you know, the Giants, you could say they were a better offense, but they're beat up. They got nothing going for them right now. You know, that tie against the Commanders was probably a little bit deflating, although it did bump them up one spot in the wild card. It worked out for them since they do not own the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, but they were able to get a tie instead of a loss. So it is what it is.
As bad as a tie is, it's better than a loss.
But it's got to be deflating. It's got to be deflating just a little bit, because they were up that game in control and ended up losing. Weren't able to put any points up in overtime. And the Eagles, man, they are rolling. They got hot again, I feel like, against Tennessee. And I just think they're just way too talented. Dable has done a fantastic job coaching this Giants team and getting the most out of the talent that they have. But the Eagles, man, they are going to be flying around on this Giants defense, I think. However they want, through the ground, through the air, they'll be able to get it done. So I see the Giants, you know, fighting. They've been playing close games. They've been a solid team. You know, I don't mean to like shit on them or anything. They're winning games, obviously.
Right.
But they're in the midst of a bad streak, their worst streak of the season for sure. I think, they're on like 2 straight losses and then the tie. So they got to get back into the win column, but it's not going to be this week. The Eagles are going to roll right through them. I see them winning by like probably 10, 13.
All right. So I get it. And I agree with you on all the things that you said. However, you know me. If there were a tinfoil hat around me, I would put it on right now. And if you don't think that the NFL is rigged, I want you to go back and watch the possession before Tampa Bay got the ball back on Monday night, and watch Mark Ingram run out 3 yards early, just a yard short of the first down on second down. And then the Saints don't get it on third down, and then they have to punt. And they never got another first down, and Tampa Bay scored 2 touchdowns to win that game. I'll say this. I watched the game Sunday night where the Cowboys went from being a score away from possibly losing to the Colts to winning by 5 touchtowns.
Because of 5 turnovers on 5 straight possessions.
Yeah, in like a heartbeat. You looked up and it's a 4-point game or whatever. And next thing you know, it's a 75-point game. And then I saw what Philadelphia did to a very good Tennessee Titans team on Sunday. And I'm telling you, you might be getting set up. I am going to be running a parlay. Now I'm with you. Like, for your contest pick, like, I totally get it. You go with the smart money, but I'm throwing some stupid money at a little sprinkle on a parlay for the Houston Texans to cover against Dallas. It's a 17-point spread. That is insane.
I was going to bring that game up actually.
And then I'm also going to have the Giants covering in this game against Philly, because I think both of those games are setups, and they're going to play them close. I don't think I wouldn't play money line parlay on this thing, because I think it's just there's virtually no chance that the Texans win that game, and so I'm not throwing good money after that. But I think both teams could cover, and I think it'll still set up what's going to be a really good matchup down the road with Philadelphia and Dallas, not necessarily playing for the division title, but playing for some playoff positioning. So because I think those are the two teams in the NFC East that most people would say are the best teams in the NFC, because nobody really respects Minnesota, and people are still waiting for Tampa Bay to really actually get it together and not have to rally in the last 2.5 minutes of every game.
Yeah, and Jimmy G going down.
Exactly.
Is the other
Jimmy G,
there.
yeah, right, exactly. So when he went down, and I know they're saying he's 7 to 8 weeks, so he might be back in time for part of the playoffs, but he's going to miss. He might miss the first round or somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe even a couple of rounds, and only be available if they make it to the NFC Championship. That's going to be tough. But you go back and look at Tampa Bay. So the resurrection of Tom Brady's possibly final season in his career. Cooper Kupp slides 5 yards short of a first down to give Tampa Bay the ball back for this epic game-winning drive. You don't think this stuff is scripted? And then Mark Ingram runs out of bounds, just runs out of bounds with no one near him, a yard short of a first down.
Hey man, look, I said it since when was it? It was March. He came back right after the tournament was announced. So it was March.
I still got my bets in, man.
I said it in March.
To win the Super Bowl.
I said it in March, man. Brady ain't coming back to lose again.
That
wouldn't make any sense, man. They told him, hey, we're not done making money off you. We'll give you another Super Bowl. Give us another year. We're taking your wife, but you get a ring. Like, no, I'm just, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. They've been giving him some wins here. I do agree with that. So that was one game I was going to bring up was the fact that the Cowboys were getting 17. I mean, that is huge. We talk about 10.
And I think it's a setup. I think it's a setup because of those 2 blowout wins. Like, they set you up to be like, oh yeah, the Texans, look what they just did to Indianapolis. Like, okay, are you really that dumb?
Yeah.
Come on now.
And granted, the Texans, they needed Tua to be out of the game, but they were 2 possessions away from the Dolphins. And who did they play last week? It was
they played against their starting quarterback because he threw like 7 pick sixes.
Yeah, they played the Browns, and the game was good for a little bit. So this is a team that's fighting, and they've played some good teams close recently. We saw what they did to the Eagles in prime time when the Eagles had a big 14, 13 point spread against them.
Right.
So I agree. I mean, that's if I would pick an aside, there's no way I'm minus 17. No way I'm laying 17. It's probably a no bet for me, but if I'm I gotta back the Texans there, and that takes a lot for me to say.
So that's my little parlay I'm probably going to play. But all right. So can we see the standings now? Have you gotten it refreshed?
First, though, it is refreshed. Okay. It's ready to go. I'm going to hold you out real quick. But I just wanted to bring up this game, too. I don't have a pick here for this show or anything, but I probably will have some picks later on in this game, obviously. But the Browns at the Bengals, and the Bengals getting 6.5 after what we saw happen on Monday night a few weeks ago. I know Jamar Chase is back. That's a big difference. And that was, I think, the first game that they were playing without Jamar Chase. So there was some adjusting to do for Joe Burrow there. But, I mean, they got whooped. And the Browns defense has looked forward since. I get it all, but it seems a little big for me. Divisional game.
No, I like Cleveland plus the 6.5. Yeah.
I mean, it just seems a little too high. I would take the Bengals at 3.5 even, probably. But 6.5 is a lot.
You mean
I'm saying I would take the Bengals even 3.5. I would even go over a field goal, maybe like over that key number.
Yeah.
If they put it there, but
if it was
they're putting it at 6.5. I mean, that's a lot, man.
You got to take the Browns or avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up. Just
show me the good news. Show me the good news. How close am I? Dang, I'm still 3.5 units behind you.
Two something. 2 and some change.
What's this?
232. I'm minus.
You're at minus 1.7. I did. Yeah. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. No, I'm at like 1.6, 1.7.
All it took was me going 0-4-1 in the last 2 weeks. 0-4-1. I'm in a cold streak right now. But these picks that I just gave out are going to get us back on again. So
that's right. This is just for me to show you that like it's not about the record because he's got a 9-8 record. I'm 8-12. But look at the units. I'm about to catch him because some of those losses that I have, I'm only putting 1 unit at risk. But I have the potential to make a couple of units. So that's how I've actually caught up. Because some of those
money line plays.
Some of those 8 wins are those money line plays.
A couple of those money line plays cash for you. But yeah, last week you did good, man. Steelers plus 1.5 and the Giants plus 2.5. I took the Giants on the money line. I was trying to edge you out for a couple points there. Obviously, that ended up in a push. So at least I didn't lose a unit there because they tied. And then I had the Raiders 50.5 points. They ended at 47. The Chargers needed to get another touchdown to tie it up. That would have hit the over also, but it is what it is because we had them in our parlay teased down to 46.5 or 45.5, and that shit cashed. So we made some money on them anyway, either way, even though I lost for this particular contest in this show. Other than that, though, we'll be back Thursday and throughout the rest of the week with other games as well. And obviously Sunday morning. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know in the comments if you like our picks, if you hate them, all that. Yeah, share button. Very important. Make sure we don't want to be the only ones eating. We want to make everybody some money. We're up 50.
We are trying to save the world from poverty through gambling.
Real men of order shit right here, baby. But on a serious note though, we're up 50 units in the last 6 weeks. If we were tracking from the beginning of the season, that number would be way higher. You're missing out if you're not getting with us Sunday mornings and throughout the rest of the week. So that the choice is yours at this point.
That's right.
Make it a great week of betting or not. The choice is yours. Hit that subscribe button and tune in.
All right. Peace, y'all. See you.
Peace.